Hello, good afternoon. My name is Tarsio Moraes. It's a pleasure to be here. I came initially from Brazil, but now live with Charlotte, North Carolina with my family. I'm in the district about 22 years, 15 on IBM, 4 in Amazon Web Services, and now almost 4 in VMware by Broadcom. I'm here today to talk about VMware Cyber Recovery, one of our amazing products about disaster recovery and cyber recovery. I have some disclaimer. Okay. So, cyber recovery. So, our new platform focus on disaster recovery and cyber recovery now is composed by 2 major products. Our formerly VCGR and our formerly Site Recovery Manager. Now they're called the Cyber Recovery. We can do both functions. They could do cyber and recovery, and our traditional focus on hardware or physical or natural events disaster. With this new platform, now is subscription based. But the good news is when you subscribe for live recovery, you get license that can use to one product or another. In some case, you can use for both cases. Okay? So how I know which gonna be the best product to my requirements? Sometimes you're gonna need example. If you require anything less than a minute RTO, you're gonna do site recovery. But in the site recovery, what means you're gonna need everything replicated. You're gonna need one vCenter up and running one side, another vCenter up and run side, storage replications, vCenter. So the measure of cost, you have cost duplicated in another environment. Now, with the cyber recovery, you don't require to have nothing running in your disaster recovery site when you are in protection mode. Okay, and the difference it is you pay by VM and the space that you store that VM. Let's talk a little bit about how the solution works. The solution technically is pretty simple and easy to understand. You're gonna download the appliance, OV appliance, to your local vCenter. That appliance, you're gonna start and take a snapshot of your machine. Depends on the schedule that you wanted to do. That snapshot is going to be transferred to the cloud in our scale-out file system. This scale-out file system pretty much is a S3 bucket. So snapshot, your VMDK, no change. The way that it is going to be transferred to a S3 bucket. So in terms of economic, you don't need to have any storage up and running to another place. You don't have any kind of vCenter up and running in another place when you are in protection mode, okay? How can you do that? Disaster recovery connector is an appliance on-prem. You have your orchestrator in the cloud. Why that? Because the majority of your cyber attack, your local vCenter or your infrastructure gets encrypted or corrupted. Okay? So it's a very important your orchestration be outside of your production site. So you're gonna have a orchestrator in the cloud and all your cloud file systems, the S3 buckets on the cloud. And then what's gonna happen? When a real disaster occurs, then you're going to spin on demand your hosts to receive that data. The very trick and different that tool does, we mount the S3 bucket as NFS data store directly on the hosts, which means if you compare to another solution, there's no copy, there's no conversion, because you're going to get those VMDK file that is on the S3 bucket exported as an NFS data store and pretty much put on directly on the host. I'm going to show you guys on that bit. And of course, all those data is encrypted in transit and in the rest with immutable snapshots. That's why I can do instant power on. Because if you compare any other solutions get a backup and put this in S3 buckets. Okay, but then when you declare a disaster, you need to copy that data from S3 buckets, maybe to IBS volume, then make a virtual machine conversion to run, example, in AWS hypervisor or any other hypervisor. There's a conversion and a copy. In this case, no conversion and no copy. Your data is there already available for you. And how this is possible? Because the S3 buckets are the same data center of your hosts. So pretty much is your local network, exposing that S3 buckets as an FS directly to your hosts. How you plan that? Connector, directory orchestrator, protection group. If you see this, pretty much is our SRM workflow. And why that? Because VCGR, the cyber recover, came from a Draytro acquisition. And then we get our big brother, SRM, so we get all the intelligence, all the mature that came from SRM and you embed it on that product. So the same way that you create protection groups, you create resources, you map resources, you map folders, you map disks, networks, the same way you do in SRM, the workflow for create protection group, you do over here. And you also create your disaster recovery plan. Same thing you do in the SRM, not the same, all the capabilities, but the workflow, the way that you map, plan, disaster recovery are the same. And for terms of knowledge, skills, and change, there's no reinvented the wheel. You have your local data center, and when you need to do a real disaster, you're going to have the same vCenter on the cloud. So there's no reinvent the wheel. When your machine is going to appear there, you're going to clone the machine, power on the machine, move the machine, all those basic operations that are going to be helpful during the disaster recovery. And we have a lot of flexibility policies because you can create our protection group based on VM names, in wildcards, folders, network. So let's protect all the machines for that specific network. I can create that. Protection group, I can group by the type of machines. So let's do a group only Windows machine, Linux machine, or Oracle servers. Or maybe I can create a protection group embedding all those application level. I can do that. So why cyber recover? This tool has a lot of good things. First, I can instant power on my machine. That's the first good thing. Another thing, ransom recover workflow. So imagine if you have any kind of corruption or encryption in your local data center, you need to find another place to be your RRE, your recovery environment. So you can spin this as on demand. You have a lot of workflow. We have a guided restore point because I'm going to show there. You have a multiple snapshot. You can pick each snapshot. You can put a tag on that snapshot. Is corrupted, not corrupted. You have change rate analysis. You have entropy rate analysis to see and help you do that process. I have on demand. And then when you are using that tool to cyber recovery, doing that cyber recovery process, we use carbon black agents to make scan all your machine, antivirus analysis, and check for vulnerability, check for everything. Okay. Now I'm gonna pretty much start a demo to understand how it is. So I just finished to deploy that on-prem OVA file. I rest here on my orchestrator. This is my orchestrator view. I'm gonna rest my vCenter. I can put my vCenter IP address. I can use my administrator at vSphere.local, or I can create my own user for that purpose. I'm gonna register my vCenter. And the good news is, I'm gonna show in a few minutes. You can register multiple vCenters on-prem. So if you have more than one vCenter, you can have one appliance connecting everything. So I connect to my vCenter. Now I'm going to create my protection group. So I'm kind of here like simple on-prem Windows machine. So in this case, I'm going to use VM pattern. I make an error here in purpose. So depends on the time that you create your wildcard, they're going to not show the results that you want. But the smart way it is imagined here, I'm going to create an example. Windows exclamation, asterisks. So in the future, so if tomorrow I create a new virtual machine that's follow in that category, that Windows machine will be automatically added on my plan. So I found a machine, okay, and then I'm going to create my schedule. How frequently I want to make this snapshot? I can do every 30 minutes, every hour, every day, monthly, weekly. So this is the sky limit. So I can protect my machine for 6 months, for 3 months. That's going to help me find possible snapshots to recover my thing. So I have my schedule. So right now, I'm going to show you the protection groups. I can have multiple protection groups. I can have protection group by application name, by name. So I have here some of them. But now, I'm still in protection mode. So there's nothing running in the cloud. But with the orchestrator up and running in the cloud, that's the only one that is running, I can do, here you can see branching to another center. I can do something very important and help me on a daily basis. I'm going to show you one case. I can go in one particular machine right now, I'm going to show you in a few seconds. I'm going to have a journal. So which means I can go there without have the need to deploy no VMware on the cloud. I can come here in one particular snapshot, one particular VM, and do file recovery. What's going to happen here? They're going to browse drive C, and then, why is this useful for me? Imagine a situation that you have a VP secretary working a PowerPoint presentation 8 in the morning. He's starting working all day, and at the end of the day, she loses that file. Do you have backup for that file? Probably not, because your backup was from last day. But now, you can go there in that machine and pretty much bring down in the snapshots for the entire day and grab that particular file. And this could be used for cyber recovery. In this case here, I'm simulating deleting a virtual machine on-prem. So like a human hero, machine is gone. Do I need to deploy anything in the cloud yet? No, I'm in recovery mode. I can use my orchestrator to restore the machine back on-prem. Okay? And say, Tarsio, I have my current backup solution on-prem. Why I need that solution? Think, in 99% when you have a cyber attack, your backup servers get corrupted. So now, imagine you can use that solution to recover your own backup server for snapshots for 1 day ago. So I'm showing here how easy it is to go there and restore the data. So the data is being downloaded from the internet. In this case, S3 bucket, that's our cloud file system. So it's pretty easy. So right now, I only talk about protection mode. So remember, protection mode, I can do file level restore. I can do the entire machine, or I'm going to do here a simulation. I'm going to power on the machine, and I'm going to delete a file inside of that machine, and I'm going to recover that. So all of this, no need to spin nothing on the cloud. No VMC, no vCenter, and no hosts in the cloud yet. I'm going to delete that machine, that file. And then I'm going to ask my orchestrator to recover that server. I'm going to shut down for purpose. And then the recovery process could take a little bit longer to start, because now he found the data on-prem. So, okay, the data is there. Let's compare byte by byte. And then I'm going to only transfer instead of transfer 25 GB, in this case, that machine, I'm going to transfer minimal data. But to kick off the first restore process, they're going to compare all the bytes that's on cloud, all the bytes that's on-prem, and then only transfer the machine is there. So right now, no cloud deployment. I'm going to wait for that, and then I'm going to show to you the next steps. After finishing this, I'm going to see I deploy 2 hosts for my disaster recovery. So now we decided we are entering disaster. We have 2 options. You can deploy during the disaster. Probably needed 2 or 3 hours to deploy the minimal infrastructure in the cloud and do some network configurations there, and they're going to be able to restore. Or you can leave the minimal of the skeleton up in the cloud, except at least leave 1 host there up and running, then your vCenter is there, everything is there pre-configured. So imagine your disaster recovery requires 30 physical servers. Do you require to have 30 physical servers? No, just leave 1. If you want to save time, because when you have at least 1 server there up and running, your recovery is instantly, because we already have a vCenter up and running in the cloud. That's why your RTO, RPO gonna require. Could a survivor wait 5 hours to get my first server up and running? Yes. If not, leave at least 1 guy. You see, is a NFS data store attached. So here I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna create a disaster recovery plan. Disaster recovery plan is when I'm gonna map what cluster on-prem I'm gonna protect it on the cloud. What network on-prem I'm gonna protect on the network in the cloud. But now is how, again, so I'm mapping vCenter to vCenter, source to vCenter, now I'm mapping folders. This workflow is identical of SRM. So try thinking a little bit off the side of the box. Ransomware recovery, I get a machine corrupted. I can leverage this to get a point in time, snapshot 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I restore on-prem? Yes, too risky. So with this VMC on AWS with 2 hosts, you can spin that machine on the cloud. We're gonna do this next. So after finish and mapping, so I'm gonna have the same option. Network for productions and network for tests. So if I'm required to do any kind of tests during the year, I can have a particular network for that purpose. Okay. One important thing here, I can put all those kind of workflow. Do I wait? Do I want to run scripted? I can do this everything also. Do I want to send communications about when that plan executes? Yes or no? So now let's execute the plan. When you're going to execute the plan, you have 4 options there. Disaster recovery test, answer, and answer test. I'm going to now show first answer protection. Very important. Let me pause my video here for 1 second. We have something very beautiful here. We have 2 options when decided to do a disaster recovery. When you will disaster that machine, you can choose that machine to run directly from the S3 bucket and continue living there, or you can turn on the machine on the S3 bucket and later on do a storage vMotion to our vCenter. And why this is important? Because sometimes, it depends on your sizing, you are storage bound. So imagine that you have a lot of CPU and memory, but you lack of space. So the only way to increase your vCenter capacity is adding extra hosts. So now, if you want to try to be concise, save money in your disaster recovery, why not put build the servers that I need that will really require a very high ops, and the other ones I can run it on the cloud. So I can balance that without the need to extra hosts only because of the storage. So that's one possibility to do. In this case, I'm going to run directly that machine directly from S3 bucket. What's going to happen is we put a cache mechanism in the front of S3 bucket. That cache mechanism with NVMe drives can give you speed and performance that you require. For the majority of workloads, that's going to require like crazy database IOPS. So because that machine, that files are in the cloud in the same availability zone. He'll go there, register the machine on my vCenter on the cloud, and less than 5 minutes, boom, machine is up and running. There, up and running. No conversion, no copy, no waiting hours to copy data, transformations and conversion there. The machine is there, up and running. Now I'm gonna create a file on that machine during my disaster recovery, because now your disaster recovery website site is your production site. I'm gonna create a file, like a file during DR. And then I'm going to say commit workflow errors. Every time you commit, they ask you to create a fallback plan. The fallback plan pretty much is a plan that you created to move all your data back to on-prem. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to find that plan, the first one, that's called fallback in the middle. I'm going to activate it. And then the flow is already inverted. But now they're going to ask you a workflow. I'm not going to move your server from the cloud to on-prem without shutting down. So when I started that process in failover, the wizard is going to ask me, can I shut down your machine? Yes. And then after you reach that machine is going to be shut down in the cloud and it's going to be appear back on-prem. Workflow is running. Because when you are running in the cloud, that snapshot that is running, continue running, so not lose data. You're also being protected on the cloud. Oh, waiting for confirmation that I want to shut down the machine on the cloud. When I confirm that, the process is going to transfer that machine. So it is a very smart way. If I lose like a storage problem and I really lose all my whatever 100 tera of GB of that machine, I need to download all those machines from the cloud back. If found some valid information there, he's only gonna sync the delta. So they're smart. All the transfer up and down, they're very smart, concise. Almost got it here. Let's try to find. I have more. Some minutes to do. The machine here in a few seconds will be put on the fallback with no errors. So the machine disappear from the cloud side, and now on-prem the machine is there up and running. And you can see the machine is going to be having the file that I created during my disaster recovery. So the file is there. Now, that's the important thing. That is my cyber recovery workflow. I pick one of the snapshots. That machine is going to be spin on the cloud. They're going to be installing carbon black sensors. And then I can choose network isolation. Because you spend this in VMC. VMC is our VCF in the cloud. We have NSX. So you're going to be able to do all those kind of network isolations. And how you can see entropy rate, change rate, that change rate is going to help you understand in the timeline all the changes that your machine occur. If in that particular day you plan a Windows updates, of course you're going to change data. But what's happening this Friday, there's no planning things and all my data got changed. So I can come here and pretty much change my network isolation. And you can use that environment because there's no magic button for cyber recovery. So, but now you have a safe place that you can have network isolation, carbon black analysis. You can badge. After trying one snapshot, you can badge. That snapshot is encrypted, has infection. And you're going to try and try and try. There's no magical. But at least you're going to have an environment to do. You have network capability isolation, and you have agents to make that recovery. And then you can discard that machine saying machine is not valid, or you can recover that machine on the cloud, and then you decide that let's come back to the machine to on-prem or not. So pretty much, guys, is what I have to show. This product, it is amazing. I can do any kind of extra demo for anyone else. But you see, when they running the analysis, they're going to show all the alerts. They found virals, or they find any kind of things. It's possible to do. And one thing final, in less than 30 seconds. That tool has a compliance check every hour or day that it was scheduled. That compliance check going to check if that plan has changed, which means it is. If when you plan this, you get your machine with 2 CPUs, 1 network card, and that particular network, and for some reason, someone touch the VMware config, that compliance tool gonna let you know. Oh, come on. When you disaster recover is on network B. Someone changed to network C. Someone changes the size of the disk. Someone changes the network drive. Someone changed the CPU and memory. So you're gonna alert that someone changed that workflow, okay? And they're gonna be able to see all those things, okay? I wanna say thank you for everything. So that's one of our major differentiator. You have analysis, we have a dedicated workflow, have an interactive environment, and have always already on demand. Use this for 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, recover data, gone. I want to say thank you for everybody for being here today. I'm going to be here stand to answer any questions. Thank you so much.